checking in here, man. I was celebrating the anniversary of Aquemini. 27 years, man. Shout out to Aquemini, one of the greatest hip hop albums. Actually, you know what? One of the greatest albums I've ever heard, period. And for a very long time, I say from end to end, pound for pound, Aquemini is the greatest hip hop album I've ever heard. If we want to talk about just being able to put together a great piece of work, skits and all lining in, the musicality, the live instrumentation, the lyricism, the song structure, the building of the album, and it's 73 minutes of flawless material. But anyway, I came across something that I want to correct because it really irritated me. And I don't know if it should irritate me. Maybe I'm being a hip hop snob about this, but I guess in the algorithm, while I'm, on my whole Aquemini take or whatever, there was this podcast that came up where a guy was breaking down or thought he was breaking down the hook for the song Aquemini, and it was all wrong. And it made me think about the fact that in this podcast space, we got a lot of people who get on the microphone and, they might mean well, but a lot of the times they don't know what they're talking about. They weren't there. And again, this is my high school years, and I understand the context, everything that was going on while Aquemini was being created, presented, debuted, and the aftermath of it all, the five mics, all that stuff. But let me let you hear what he has to say, and I'm gonna let you know what problems I have with what this individual had to say. Let me check this out.
Down, heroes eventually die.
Okay, let's
Horus,
go back.
even the sun goes down, heroes eventually die. Horoscopes often lie, and sometimes why. It's that play on like AEIOU, sometimes why. It's fun. It's fun.
No, no. I'm gonna break down what the sometimes why means and what I believe it means.
Like there could be an opinion out there where it's like that's dumb, but like it's so clever in my opinion
I don't know.
that it's just like who thought of that? Of course, like
Okay. He feels that the sometimes why is just random. It's not, first of all. The hook is even the sun goes down. Heroes eventually die. Horoscopes often lie, and sometimes why. Now let's break this down. Who were outcast as heroes? Andre has been very vocal about the fact that, Q-Tip, his verse on jazz is what made it not made him want to rhyme, but made him understand the MC that he wanted to be, the artist that he wanted to be. A Tribe Called Quest is very pivotal to the growth of Outkast and who Outkast was as a group and who they became as a group and who they became as a collective. Even if you look at what Andre did on Aquemini, it's very Q-Tip-esque as far as being able to take on a lot of the production load and a lot of the song structure load and those things as well, the composition side of it all. Outkast also, when they auditioned, if you will, for Rico 8, the track that they rhymed over was the Scenario remix. Tribe is their heroes, or are their heroes, right? And at that time, Tribe was falling apart and Tribe was breaking up. And I think it's noteworthy to say on this date, and that's why I think it's funny that I found this clip and I really felt like I needed to say something. The Love Movement was supposed to be Outkast, A Tribe Called Quest's final album. The Love Movement was dropping the same day as Aquemini. And when you see your heroes, I don't want to say falling off, but breaking up, your favorite groups breaking up while you're hitting your zenith, while you're hitting your stride. It's kind of like, when you grow up and you become the adult and your parents are getting older and you look at it like, yo, I'm the adult now. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm seeing my parents getting older, declining. It's a feeling of I'm in the driver's seat, but it's also bittersweet because you're remembering those times where it was like, I still want to look up to my heroes and I still look up to my heroes, but even the sun goes down. Heroes eventually die. Horoscopes often lie. Why am I mentioning Tribe? Because that sometimes why is not some random sometimes why. if you have Midnight Marauders, you've listened to Midnight Marauders, and you listen to the skit that is right before Electric Relaxation, where the computerized voice says, the members of A Tribe Called Quest, Phife Dawg, Ali Shaheed Muhammad, Q-Tip, and Jerobi, AEIOU, and sometimes Y. And for those who know Tribe and Jerobi's presence in Tribe, Jerobi was that he was the spirit of the group. He was very visual in the first album, but then he went off to culinary arts school, and he wasn't physically there for Midnight Marauders or the Low End Theory, and he's the sometimes why. And I always took the hook of even the sun goes down, heroes eventually die, horoscopes often lie, and sometimes why. That's a shout out to Tribe. Nothing is for show, nothing is for certain. Nothing lasts forever until they close the curtain. It's him and I, Aquemini. He's telling himself, Tribe, or whoever that, you know what, we got this. I know that you guys are at the end of yours, but until we get to the end of ours, it's him and I, Aquemini. And to me, it kind of pisses me off when I see people who get in front of the microphone and don't even try to make sense of something that they feel doesn't make complete sense. You think it was just a random thought of him to just say sometimes why? No, there's a reason for this. You don't just build up all of those thoughts, all that lyricism to just throw out a random thought. And I think that Aquemini, the song, is one of the most thought-provoking pieces that Andre and Big Boy have ever put together. And then when you add in that hook that Andre put together with such great thought, it's the title track. This means a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I even see the tribe theme, or the theme of Cass's mortality, in Andre's verse on Rosa Parks when he's talking about you only funky is your last cut. You focus on the past, your ass to be a has what. That's one to live by, either that's one to die to. I try to just throw it at you. Determine your own adventure, Andre. Got to a station, that's my destination. She got off the bus, the conversation. Leaking in my ear for hours, took a shower, kind of sour, because my favorite group ain't coming with it, but I'm with you. Because I know you're going through it anyway. But anyhow, went and down, went out and bought it, because I thought it would be jamming. But examine off the flosky, Walski, awfully sad, and it's costly. But that's all she wrote. And I hope I never have to float in that boat. Up Shit's Creek, it's weak, is the last quote that I want to hear when I'm going down. When all said and done, and we got a new Joe in town. When the record player get to skipping and slowing down, all y'all could say is them niggas earn that crown. But until then, he's seeing what Tribe's going through. He's foreseeing what his group could possibly go through. And for me, the Aquemini hook, the even the sun goes down, heroes eventually die. Horoscopes often lie. And sometimes why? Sometimes why is him letting them know, or himself know, this is about my favorite group and my heroes, Tribe. And the sometimes why is Jerobi, and that is where it pulls together with the Tribe Called Quest. It's not just some random thought. But let me know if you guys think I'm wrong, if I'm tripping or whatnot, or if I'm correct. And I would love to hear from some people in the dungeon as well to confirm, that thought process, because that's how I always took it. Hit like and subscribe. We'll see you guys soon, and can't wait to hear what you got to say in the comment section. All right. Checking in here, man. I was celebrating the anniversary of Aquemini. 27 years, man. Shout out to Aquemini, one of the greatest hip hop albums. Actually, you know what? One of the greatest albums I've ever heard, period. And for a very long time, I say from end to end, pound for pound, Aquemini is the greatest hip hop album I've ever heard. If we want to talk about just being able to put together a great piece of work, skits and all lining in, the musicality, the live instrumentation, the lyricism, the song structure, the building of the album, and its 70s